Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game.
Got old pickup with a dog box, slam full of hounds that don't know when to stop. Got a tough old male, Rambo's his name. He's quick on his feet, hell on game. Got a little jip in the back of the pack. She ain't real fast, but she's true on the track. She's got the drive and she's got the guts, and that's why she's gonna run.
I mean, we're going to jump right in and start with Dog Tight because that's how I found you. Where did the inspiration for this song come from?
Man, just growing up, man, just growing up hunting with dogs, developed a passion for it. And I started writing a little bit of music a couple years back, and it was more just for fun and just messing around and just, hanging out with some friends in the shop and whatever, and writing music and messing around, coming up with lines. It was more accidental, probably, more than anything, and kind of got into a little groove of it, man, and had a few things that kind of popped off, even before Dog Tight did on TikTok, but it kind of sort of developed a trickle down effect from that. But I actually got inspired to write that song from a friend of mine, and I've only told a few people this really, and I didn't want to put this out there to be the main focus of why I did it really. But a friend of mine passed away a couple years ago, and he hunted with us the year before he passed away, and he one thing that he said that stuck in my mind one day, we were out there hunting, and he kept saying dog tight on radio. He'd talk about it whenever he had a chance, and I finally broke down. I was like, man, what are you talking about, dog tight? What do you mean by that? And he's like, it's kind of gang slang, for dog hunters. We understand and get each other, and it's kind of just slang for something that we love to do. And I was like, all right, well, that's cool. So we kind of ran with it and just kept it. And then he unfortunately ended up passing away later that year. And knew I had to do something involving that, man. And I just was sitting around one night thinking about it and put a few words together, man. Just wrote about what I knew, and that's what it came out to be. And the response from it was just incredible.
Yeah, it's an incredible song. And I first want to say I'm sorry to hear about your friend. And I was honestly really wondering where that name came from, and I didn't quite get it either at first.
So.
Yeah,
and surprisingly, it seems like a lot of people throughout the housing community already knew what that was. It was kind of, it was kind of, I guess, unsaid kind of thing, and it blew up for sure. I mean, I didn't know nobody had a clue about it.
Well, it's definitely a catchy song. I know my kids know it just from the TikTok, the intro of the song.
Yeah, man, it's cool seeing the feedback and the videos, and that's the biggest thing with me, man, is seeing all the videos and from people posting videos, running hounds with it in the background. I look at them all, man. I love them, and especially the ones that have kids in it and anything involving younger kids out just turning dogs out and hunting and seeing pictures and with it, it's a good thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we get too far into this, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, sure. My name's Carson Robertson. I'm from Isle of Wight County, Virginia. That's southeastern Virginia. Just north of Dismal Swamp.
Yep.
I'm sure you probably know, you hunt around some, you probably heard of Dismal Swamp.
Yep, and then for all you West Coast or people not from the United States, like Virginia Beach area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You probably relate to Virginia Beach. Most people know. Not far from Virginia Beach, Newport News.
Yep.
Bad news. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, about an hour from the Carolina line. I grew up hunting right here in Alawite County, hunting with dogs. I've been hunting the same hunt club since I was old enough to walk around, and just took to it like a pig in mud. Developed a passion for it at a young age. Still hunt with the same hunt club. Believe it or not, I've never hunted with another hunt club, and nothing against any other hunt club because I would love to, but I've just have grown up hunting this hunt club, and I've loved every minute I've had available to hunt, and I've put it towards this hunt club. My dad and my brother and my granddaddy all hunted this hunt club. My great granddaddy Eugene Robertson, he was a founder of the hunt club. Moonlight Hunt Club is what it's called, and
awesome.
He was actually a founder of it in 1950. So
come from a long line of houndsmen, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. So my granddaddy, both my granddaddies had dogs, and my uncle had dogs. Bobby, you'll probably hear more about him the more we talk because he's kind of. I kind of used him in one of these songs too. I don't know if you heard or not, but he's a good hunter, man. Old school, I listen to him and my granddaddy talk all the time. They'll tell you, man, it's before they had tracking collars and Garmin's and GPS, and they even had beep beep.
Yep.
And just hearing them talk, my granddaddy, he'd say they turn out dogs and they'd be lucky if they'd see them that week. Get them back just because their name would be on the collar, but they'd just be running.
Yeah.
So it's cool hearing them stories from all them guys.
Definitely. Now, I had somebody on, and he talked about they got a dog back 2 years later. This was back in like the 50s, and
That's crazy.
phones were hardly, weren't even in every house, and the woman didn't have a phone.
Sure.
And
Sure.
So that's why she never called him, is because she didn't have a phone.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's right.
So,
yep.
But when you're talking about running dogs, you're talking about mainly running deer dogs. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a true deer houndsman. That's all I do. Yep.
So for loyal podcast listeners, Isle of Wight County is actually where Orbit Hunt Club is, which is, I forget what episode it was, but it was last probably March, April when that episode came out. And I had some of the guys from Orbit on. And that's in Isle of Wight County.
That's right.
So,
yep.
So for anybody listening, this is kind of the same territory and same style of hunting.
Yep, that's right.
But for anybody new, because between last spring and now, we've picked up a lot of listeners, why don't you kind of describe the territory down there and kind of the conditions that you guys are hunting in?
It's mainly flat land, some fields, a lot of thickets, thick cutovers, creeks. Where we hunt, we got a lot of diverse terrain. We're right alongside the James River, and we got creeks that come up in here from Smithfield. Pagan is one, and we got some marsh, but it's for the most part it's mainly flat land, thick cutovers. Little southern where we're hunting at is a lot of hilly area. You start getting to some valleys where the creeks start coming in there, and you can tell the difference when you hunt them creeks, the back of them creeks. The dogs are twice as worn out from going up down them valleys all day.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's flat land, thick cutovers, tall pines, big woods. We have some big woods. We got a lot of different terrain.
Okay.
For sure.
About how much terrain do you guys hunt?
How
much does your club have?
Don't quote me on this, but I'd probably say close to 7,000 acres.
Nice.
Maybe it varies. We just lost some land this year. right big block, crucial block that we usually hunt to solar panels and going up. And I think a lot of clubs are dealing with that, especially in Carolina. They're going up everywhere, but
Yeah.
you just got to deal with it, and try to make the best of it, and work around with it.
Yep. Now, is that like timberland?
Yeah. Yep. It's timberland. Yep. Cut over some fields, but yeah, they're right here. We're right by the Surrey Power Station, so they're tying in right here, and they want some crucial land around here, and it just happened to fall right here where we hunt, the heart of it.
Yep. Where I hog hunted down in North Carolina, maybe, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours from you, and a couple years ago, and where we hunted, actually right after I hunted there, like a year later, it was a timber company, and they sold, a big 4,000 acre block of land or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the guys that used to lease it no longer actually were able to hunt that anymore.
Yep.
So
it
definitely is affecting a lot of people, that's for sure.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, it's and you don't realize it till it's gone. I was telling some guys the other day, that piece we lost, we would hunt it, but we wouldn't really hunt crazy about hunting a lot, and now the past few days when we've been hunting around there, it's like the dogs go right in there, right off the jump, and they just sit there and run loops in there, and you can't do nothing but just ride around on the highway on the edges because you can't go up in there. So you're sitting for hours and waiting for them dogs to come out of there and go on somewhere else where you can get to them.
It never fails. It's like that. I just lost. So the one farm I hunt, it's a small piece of ground. Don't get me wrong. And the guy farms some neighboring property and used to be able to hunt all of it. Well, this year he's not allowed to hunt part of it, the neighboring property. And so he told me, hey, you can stay on my farm but not go over in this one little swamp. And wouldn't you know, every time I've turned loose in there, that's where my dogs go.
That's right.
Without fail. Like before, in the past, I've been in there, 3 or 4 times. The last 2 times I've hunted there, that's where they ended up.
That's where they go. Yep, that's how it goes. It always works out like that.
So I understand what you mean, and it's not even a big block of land or anything. It's a little patch of woods, but
yep, they live it.
Fail.
It's like the deer just know it, man.
Yep.
Yeah, they just know. They just know it for sure.
Definitely. For whatever reason, game figures out where they can get away.
Yep.
And they learn it and they know it. And I've talked to people from all over, and that's the case. If there's a preserve or there's a private piece of property that you're not supposed to be on, it's without fail. That is where everything goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we see it a lot around here, man. We pound these blocks around here that we can hunt, and a lot of these deer will start getting into pockets like up behind houses and little lots here and there, and you won't jump a deer and then you have a dog just go up behind somebody's 2 or 3 acre lot, and they'll just bust out of there in herds, and they find a safe haven and sit in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what is it that gets your blood pumping with running deer dogs?
Man, probably when you got about, 15, 20 dogs in a piece of woods, and just listening to them, come through there. Especially when you hear them coming from a ways away, and they're coming right to you. When they get tied up on you, that really gets your heart racing. I think in that song, one of the lyrics is "Lights a fire in a young boy's eyes." It lights a fire in me every time. In my eyes, every time I hear that, and it still does to this day. It always has, and you get 15, 20 dogs in there, and it's nothing but a roar coming through there. You can't even hear the deer coming through there. You get a couple dogs, you hear that deer crashing coming to you, but when you get 15, 20, you're just, your head's on a swivel, you're bouncing, looking like you can't even hear that thing coming through there. So
Yeah.
it'll slip by you sometimes.
It's definitely a different experience for people that have never run deer dogs.
Yeah, man, it is. It's a crazy experience. I love hearing, like, we'll have some guests come out that have never been deer hunting with dogs, and they want to come out and try it out, which is cool, I think, for them to even do that, and just to hear some of the people's responses, and seeing how they take to it, how much they enjoy it, and it kind of moves them, in a way.
I kind of equate it to a rabbit hunt on steroids.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're talking, you got big hounds, tend to be a lot of them, and obviously a deer versus a rabbit. So, but it's
that's
kind
right.
of a, brushy, thick stuff that rabbits tend to run in. Deer tend to like them too.
Yep, for sure.
And you just don't quite have that same circle.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, we do a little bit of it all around here, man. We got I do some rabbit hunting with a farmer up the road. He's pretty much like my other granddaddy. My granddaddy and him grew up together and best friends, and he's had rabbit beagles since as long as I've known it. And man, nice. I grew up rabbit hunting with him, and hey, I think I probably went about 10 times before I could ever hit one. And little jokers are quick, man. I couldn't hit them unless they were sitting still. So, but just like anything else, you got to keep doing it, man, and can't give up, or you will never hit one.
Yeah. You run any other kind of hounds?
I don't. I don't run on no different type of game, but I've been coon hunting, man. We kind of got into coon hunting. A couple guys around here had a couple coon dogs. One boy had a really good coon dog we hunted with for a while, and man, it was just so much fun, man. We'd go out and kill easily 5 or 6 a night. We got a lot of coons around here we hunt at. And really don't nobody coon hunt anymore. They used to coon hunt around here, but nobody really does anymore. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it. It was a real good time.
Now, have you guys killed any bears off of where you deer hunt?
Yeah, so we just 2 years ago, we actually had Doug and Wade Temple come up from North Carolina. They're pretty known down there for bear hunting, and we ended up killing 2 bears. Yeah, they ended up coming up, and we got on 2 bears, and that was the first time I had seen that, and that's pretty sweet too. I'm not gonna lie. We ended up letting 2 kids shoot the bears out of the tree, so awesome. They really enjoyed that. It's something they'll never forget, and to be able to do. And actually, those dogs you hear in the beginning of that song are actually from that bear hunt. Okay. Because we were standing around when they were treeing, and we actually got that on film, and we found a way to turn that into a sound, and I threw it in there the last day to my cousin Brian Saban, who recorded it and helped me a lot, man. He worked a tremendous amount of hours on it, man, and done a hell of a job. But I threw that on him last minute, man, and he worked his magic on it and faded it in there, man. We loved it how it turned out. So
that's awesome. Those hounds at the beginning, that's how you know it's a good song right there, right from the get-go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, a lot of songs. There's a few songs out there, man. Hounds songs, and I think probably the biggest one that stuck to me was "Dog Hunting Man" by David Cooler, man. I grew up, when I heard that song, I loved it. I played that in my truck, I think, every day on the way to school and on the way home 3 times a day if I could. And so to be able to do something like that and to see the response, man, it's cool. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Is this the first song that you've actually recorded and released?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, it's the first. So everything's new, man. I actually work for the power company around here. I'm a transmission lineman for the power company, and it's very time consuming, man. It was like pulling teeth. I will say that it wasn't no easy thing, man. And you want it to be right when you do it, man. so much work put into it, and it's like, it's one thing to play it live and play it acoustic,
Yeah.
or take a video of it and put it up there like I did, and it's got its flaws, but when you go and record, and it's a whole nother animal. I learned that fast,
Yep.
but we ended up getting it down and getting it right, just before our deer season. That was my main goal,
Yeah.
to have it out before our deer season. We did right the day of, but yeah, that's definitely the biggest one. Actually, the first song I had written, which probably kicked it off, was it's a song called "Listen to Them Dogs," and it's up there. I'll post you clips of it, but I just was messing around one day and come up with the line, the first couple lines of it, and I played it with some friends at the house, man, and they were just, when I got done, I thought they were just, laughing at me like, man, that don't sound half bad, that wasn't that bad, and the girl ended up posting it on Facebook, and I was like, oh Lord, here we go, and about to make a fool of myself, and then it got a lot of, I think it got over like 200 shares or something on Facebook, and it went around, and it was actually about my Uncle Bobby that I was telling you about. The first line of that song, it was a true story. We were hunting a farm, our family farm, that day, and my uncle, he was down there in the swamp, and a buck came by him in there, 20 inches wide, and that's kind of how the song starts out. And he shot the deer and didn't quite hit him right like he thought he was, and then another local legend around here, Big Smith, he had to go in there and it was 15 dogs on him, man. I mean, just burning that deer, and they kind of caught him down there in the swamp in the water. He kind of had to go in there and wrestle him, so we kind of tied that into a little bit of a tune, man, and it got a little notoriety up there, but we're gonna see what we can do with that one too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, I'm all for having more music that represents our lifestyle because it's a good way to reach people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's why I definitely wanted to have you on and be able to share this. I mean,
yeah, man. No, I like I said, man, I love the response from it, man, and to be able to have a voice, it's kind of cool, and any way to better and this tradition, that we do, and in any type of way, hey, I'm in for it. I enjoy it, man, and I have a feeling one day it's gonna eventually get pushed away. There's people fighting left and right to end it, man, and we kind of got our backs to the wall, and then we even shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes. Social media, some people posting things, you see some things up there that do not belong up there, give hunters a bad name, bad rap, and you're like, come on, man, you got to be reasonable, but you just take it how it is and go with it.
Yep. No, I agree with you, and here I found you on TikTok, and TikTok has made plenty of people famous, but at the same point, for good and bad things, and
yeah, that's right,
and
arrested probably,
probably, but I have to say, I think I follow a lot of great accounts, hound related accounts on TikTok. I've seen a lot of things that should not be online for anybody to see, and that just don't represent our lifestyle in the best light. So, I know this is something that gets talked about a lot, and I don't want to beat a dead horse by any means, but just throwing it out there, guys. You got to keep your act cleaned up, and I'm not saying we need to hide what we do, but at times there are things that happen in the woods when you have animals that are pursuing game that are just not palatable to the non-hunting public. So, And sometimes those things should just be left where it happens, in the woods,
Yeah.
where hunters that understand what is happening are there. The non-hunting public that doesn't want to see it and doesn't hunt doesn't want to see it. So it's not hiding. It's just not throwing it in people's face.
Yeah.
So I'll get off my soapbox now.
Yeah. No.
So,
Oh.
do you have aspirations of being a singer, or is this just kind of like something that happened just because you wrote a little song and it's gotten some notoriety?
Yeah. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm planning on being a country music superstar. I just I probably picked up the guitar when I was probably graduating high school, playing a little bit, and I'm by no means no great guitarist. I can play a little bit, play a few chords, and make some music. And it was more so because I think I got bored.
Okay.
I grew up playing sports, and once I graduated from high school and didn't play any sports and nothing like that, I think I kind of wanted something to maybe push me a little bit, a little challenge and whatnot. And so I kind of just took up that messing around and just started, writing about things that I like to do, and one was hound hunting, hunting with dogs, and I don't know, just kind of worked out. It seems like it's crazy, to think that just a regular old boy, can pick up a guitar and say a few words, and just what I know, what I do, that's what we do. Yeah. What I've written about is all true,
Mm-hmm.
Everything, like I said, in that song Rambo, talk about it, tough old male Rambo is his name. That's nothing but truth, man. I've had so many people comment and message me saying, Rambo is the best dog I ever had, And I did have one guy say Rambo was the worst dog he ever had, but I kind of hid that one. But my brother had a dog. He pretty much got me into it, to running dogs, because he had a good group of dogs, man, and he still got them, man. They're old now. They're in the woods with walkers, man. They're probably 8, 9 years old. Yeah. So, but he had a group of dogs, and Rambo was just, everything you wanted in a dog. And, just gritty, fast, could get after it.
Mm-hmm.
With everything you wanted for a dog. He ended up getting hit in the road, of course, by a car, and it always happens to the best ones.
Yeah.
I think actually a club member might have actually hit him. It was all accidental. He felt terrible about it, but I think he was running a buck, and but just putting that up there, having that in that line in the song, and so many people have said, Rambo, man, he was one of the best dogs I ever had. And it's crazy to hear that, but it's cool when they can relate to it too.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, and I actually bred to that dog Rambo's sister.
Okay.
Patch, my brother. I think he still has her. Matter of fact, I actually bred a dog I got from a guy named Daniel Boyd, who, in my opinion, is one of the best houndsmen around here in my area. Just knows a dog front to back, can tell you a good one from a bad one. Just he's good at it. He's always been good at it, and he's kind of he runs a lot in the pen. Does some field trial, and he's pretty known around. He's been known to place a dog or two when they run and hunt and pretty regularly. But I bred one of his dogs that I got from him named Hank to that Patch dog, and that kind of kicked me off, and those dogs now I have are 5, and I'm getting ready to try to breed another dog I got here soon. Maybe she comes in and hopefully do it all again and have another litter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just it's nonstop
Mm-hmm.
action for sure.
Now, do you run mostly running walkers, or do you run anything else?
So I have mainly all walkers, but I did go to Northern Virginia 2 years ago, and I got a black and tan coonhound because my uncle Bobby used to run. He would mix his he'd breed a black and tan or tree and walker to a hound, because he would say, they breed the black and tan and tree and walker to get that nose and the hound for speed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I drove up to Northern Virginia, got a black and tan coonhound. Still got him. I just run him today. He's not made for deer hunting, I will say that. But he does get after one when he smells one. But he's attached to me. He's attached to me for sure, and I think he would have done a lot better on coons. But as a matter of fact, I think his dad was like a Grand Night champion or something. People would say, "What are you doing running that dog on deer, man? He's a king dog." But my brother did breed him to a walker another year, and he had some black and tan walkers mixes, and they were mean. I ended up getting one of them, and I still have that dog, and that dog really. He really gets it done every day. I mean, he runs like a hound, just like a walker does, and they're mean. I mean, if you got a deer that ain't quite dead, he will finish him off.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I've heard a few stories about coon hunting horror stories of people running coon hounds that seem to just have a knack for running deer down.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of laugh. I'm like, yep, I think you need to ship that one down south.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, move them on down here. Yeah.
Well, let's hear a good deer hunting story with some hounds.
Man, good story. Where do you start, man? Well, I've already kind of told you about the one that my Uncle Bobby. So, a really memorable story was that I do remember very well. I was probably around 9 years old or so. It was me and my brother and my dad, and we were hunting around the farm, at our farm too. And we were hunting. It was a clear-cut cutover we were at, and we were walking back there. And my uncle wasn't hunting with the club then, with the hunt club, but he was still hunting the property beside it where we were going to, and he was already down there, and we saw him, and he kind of waved us down there like, come on. So we run down there and got on the log and sat on the log with him. It was me and my dad and my brother and my uncle, and shots rang out across the swamp on the power line. Guy comes on the radio, nice buck, just got up out here. We were shooting at him. To think he got into him, and it was real cold. I remember it was real cold, and we were just across the swamp from him. And next thing you hear is ice breaking down in the swamp. And my dad and uncle were like, all right, get ready. Here he comes. And it was a clear cut over, and there was a beech tree out there, but they left a huge beech tree right on the side of a hill before it went down into the swamp. And I'll never forget that buck, man. He came out and just stood on top of that hill, threw his head back, man, and just the prettiest thing you ever see. And we were in all of them just looking at him, 20-inch 8-pointer. And we were just in awe, me and my brother looking at him. And he turned broadside, and we started running across the face. And my dad and uncle were both like, y'all better shoot. Y'all gonna shoot, fighting up, man. And it was bang, bang. We both shot. And who knows who hit the deer? Probably won't me. My uncle still jokes about that day, but he says that there's still a load in the pine tree back there behind it, and that's probably for me. I probably missed that deer because I couldn't shoot with a crud back then, man. Man, I still really ain't the best shot, but my brother probably killed that deer. But I got that deer here at my house. Man, yeah, that's one I'll never forget, man.
Yeah,
Shoot, and I don't know if I told you, but so I'm the hunt master in our hunt club, and
okay.
I get, yeah, it's a job. I mean, some days I feel like I'm at work, but it's a good job. Can be. It's got its pros and cons. Probably more cons than pros, honestly. But somebody's got to do it, and I'm glad to do it. I love it, and I'm still ate up with it, so I will do it as long as I'm able to. But
yeah. Now, just to kind of explain what that entails for people that are not familiar with Hunt Master.
Yeah, so the Hunt Master, he pretty much makes the decision of where you're going to hunt, whether that day or throughout the day. Tells the dog owners where they're going to turn out, pick spots, where it'd be best to turn out. You're pretty much just running the hunt and kind of, guiding everybody through it.
Yeah.
Where you're going to hunt that day. And your job is to try to keep the ball rolling, and try to keep it busy and keep the tempo up and not, I don't like it to get slack. I don't like the woods to get quiet, and it's hard to not, but, it just happens sometimes. But, one day, we were running a block. We were after this buck, man, we were seeing him like every night in a field. We'd ride by there and we could see him every night, and we could not run this deer to save our lives, and we couldn't jump and find him anywhere, but he'd be in that field every night. And we went and hunted that block that morning, and he was out there in the field that night, and the dogs just weren't running that good. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and that block we couldn't seem to jump a whole lot of deer. Dogs weren't running that good. I made the decision to leave and go to another block across the street. Hopefully maybe the running would pick up, or we could find something, do something else. And all my buddies were like, all the older guys were like, man, what's he doing? He's going over there pulling. We ain't even hunted this block, yada yada. Like, that's a mistake, this and that, and who knows? Maybe it was. Hell, I don't know. And when we went over there, sure enough, we jumped a 20-inch 6-pointer, run right to a guy. I mean, it's nothing but luck. We killed him. Went right back in there again in the same spot, and run it was like a 12-pointer so out of there, and he came by me, and I saw him, and I couldn't get a shot on him. He was really too far, and the boy who is actually playing lead guitar in that song, Dog Tight, Will Cofer is his name. Awesome kid, man. He's 12 years old. I mean, he's a natural. He's a good, hard-working boy, man. Can play guitar, loves to hunt. Just a good old boy. Drives tractors and trucks, man, like there's nothing to it. But he actually killed that deer, and that was like, I think, the second deer he's ever killed, and he killed it in front of the dogs. And I mean, it was a really nice deer. Had kickers on and whatnot. So we kind of ran over there and dogpiled him, man, and threw him around a little bit. And I think that'll be a day he'll never forget. But it'll be a day I'll never forget, And I think that's the biggest thing, with what we do is instilling in these kids like that, making memories like that, and things that they'll never forget. He'll have that story for the rest of his life.
Yep, definitely. Now it sounds like a good time. I know I had a blast when I got to hunt down at Orbit, and if I lived down there, I'd probably have some deer dogs. That's for sure. Yeah,
man. Orbit's a good club. They've been known to kill some really nice deer. All them guys. I know a lot of them guys.
Yeah, they've got a few nice ones on their club wall. That's for sure.
Yeah, they do for sure. Yep. So. Yep. There's some good guys in Orbit. I actually went to school with a couple guys out from Orbit. Actually, Burgess Wills. He's He used to be my football coach, and his brother Brent. I was a couple years behind him, and Jess Will. They're heavily involved, man. Jess, my granddad used to call him the turkey Nazi, man. If there was a turkey around, he was gonna kill him for sure.
Now you mentioned Burgess. Burgess was on the podcast with me.
Really?
Back in April.
Really, that's cool. Yeah, I like Burgess, man. He was kind of. I played football, man, and he was a couple years ahead of me, and he was kind of a mentor for me, man. He was just a great dude. Every time I see him, it's we pick up like where we left off.
Mm-hmm. Small world, that's for sure.
Yep, for sure, man. Yep. I did a little bit in the pen. I put some of my dogs in the pen, but I never really took to it like some of these guys, man. Some of these guys have some impressive dogs, man, as far as speed.
Yeah.
You know, it's unreal how fast some of these dogs that they got are, man. I'm just a good old boy with some deer hounds. You know, that's all I care about, man. That's all I like to do, man. And I like any kind of hound running. I have nothing against any. I'm up for any kind of hunting, man. I hate when people start picking like between hunting. You know, well, still hunting and dog hunting versus dog hunting. You know, that's a huge thing. Like you hear a lot of people go back and forth about the difference and this and that. I'm up for both, man. I love any type of hunting, any type of sport or tradition that gets you outside, gets you outdoors, man. I'm there for it.
Definitely.
You know, I love it. I still hunt just as much as I dog hunt, and I love it all.
Good deal. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And so.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I was just going through the videos earlier today, man, looking at some of the videos that people were making and just seeing I call it a houndsman army, man, because that's what it is. It's an army of houndsmen out there, man. And TikTok, man, has got a pile of them up there.
Yeah, they do.
I never realized how big until TikTok and that song, how big the houndsman community is, man. I mean, it's all over the world. I mean, it ain't just down south there. It's just, I mean, it's all over, man. It's in Canada and Australia and Japan. It was a guy out there that had a video from Japan. Yeah. And I'm like, man,
that's awesome.
I didn't even know they had nothing like that in Japan. Yeah.
Yep.
But one guy, man, he commented he was from Australia, and I got to looking, I got to message him and got to talking to him. We were just kind of, he sent me some pictures of some of their hounds, man, big stocky looking hounds, beautiful dogs. I'm like, man, what are they running down there, kangaroos or something, man? No, they got some crazy looking bucks, man, just high racks that go up, look almost like reindeer.
Yeah.
But
Sandbar.
yeah, it's crazy though to see all the different type of hound hunting around the world, you know.
Yep.
In Ohio, man, all them people out west and the boys out west and girls hunting, you know, them big cats, cougars, mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
Yep. No,
sure.
And you don't realize because we segment ourselves so much that it's like, you know, most of the time deer doggers talk to other deer doggers. You might cross over a little bit and talk to some foxhound guys that run the pens and stuff, but you don't really get out and then talk to everybody else. And then you've got the coon hunters that kind of stick with coon hunters and beaglers that stick with beaglers. And
yeah,
you know, but when you start kind of adding us all up, there's definitely more houndsmen than you would think. And not everybody's diehard, but and out there every day, but there's definitely a lot of people that support it.
Yep. It is that.
So.
For sure.
And we need that, so.
Yeah.
Everyone that's listening, keep it up.
Yeah. We need all the support we got.
Yep.
I think what's going to hurt us, not necessarily there's people pushing to get it out and get rid of it. I think it's, at least where I'm at and where I'm hunting in my area, it's probably what's going to hurt us the most is the loss of land.
Yep.
You know, people coming in, building houses and buying lots and don't want it and
Yep.
don't want you to hunt, you know, with hounds and you know, solar panel building up, you know.
Yeah.
City's kind of creeping in.
You're 100% right.
Yep. Money talks, man, and we got a lot of people that are coming in our area that have a lot of money.
Yep.
And they can take land right out from anybody, you know. We're just your average good old boy working class around here.
Yep.
And there's some guys that live, you know, in Virginia Beach that you got more money than they know what to do with, and they don't mind spending it to have a place to hunt.
Yep.
And it gets harder for sure.
Yes, it
It
does.
gets harder. Yep, it does. It puts a hurt on it.
Which just goes back to why we need to present what we do in a positive light. Show everybody that what we're doing is good, and that way we
Yep.
can hopefully preserve it, keep it around
Yeah, that's
through all of this, you know. So,
yeah, for sure.
well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, man. I think about wrapped it up, man. Hey, I appreciate you letting me come on, man.
I appreciate you coming on.
Anytime. I'm gonna try to put a couple more things out, man. I do want to give a shout out to buddy who hunts with us, Ren's Mill Radios. He does a lot of work on radios, and he's got his own website up there. And anybody, you know, who listens to it, looking to get into get radios, or he's got all kinds of different situations
Okay.
that he runs. But
Mhm.
he's pretty good at it. He's pretty quick with things. But go on there and check him out. He'll get you straight. So
Good deal.
he also does things with dogs. He does dog. I think he's selling collars, but Rensman Radio is his website. So go up there and check him out.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Well, if that's it. We'll wrap this thing up.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep 'em talking in the timber.